Hello, friends and freethinkers. Lovely spring afternoon. I'm here to talk to you about my issues with placing a vote today. I've started trying to figure out who to vote for, and to me it seems like whoever you vote for, the government get in, the ruling class or whatever. Everybody's asking the wrong questions. Shall we tax here? Shall we tax there? Shall we privatise the NHS? Shall we nationalise it? Or shall we take the rails back? This, that and the other. And at the end of the day, it just seems that they're the wrong questions. So tax, we'll start with that. It's bullshit. So as far as I can see, government borrow money off the Bank of England, a private institution who print the fiat currency that we use. Bank of England prints the money, government issues a bond. Right? That bond is a big IOU saying we'll pay you back all this money that we've borrowed plus interest. And the only way you can get money to pay back the interest is from the Bank of England in the first place. So, that's a perpetual cycle. And that interest is actually where tax goes. So should we tax these people more, these people less, the rich, the poor? When really I don't think we should be paying back interest that we can't possibly pay back. So tax questions are pretty much irrelevant. They should be asking, why are we taking money from the Bank of England and giving them all the permission to print it and make it up out of thin air and make people work like bloody dogs to earn it again? So there's one real issue, and then everybody's talking about the NHS, privatise it, because it's fucking rubbish, and I do agree it's rubbish, but at the same time, I don't think you should privatise healthcare and let people profiteer off it. Come on, it's silly, So why is the NHS so bad? Because they don't have fucking enough money coming from the government, because the government has to borrow the money from the banks in the first place. So we don't have a currency backed by anything, and this money comes from a private bank. So if the government was in fact either printing their own money instead of borrowing off somebody else, I'm sure they fuck up the economy just as bad, but at least the NHS would have the money they need, various other institutions would have their needs. It's there to facilitate trade, not steal people's time. And then you've got all these other issues gay marriage, and I'm completely against it, as I am straight marriage. The reason being is that you're institutionalizing fucking love, man, and into a system that's owned by the banks. Okay, yeah, sure, get married, you can't testify against each other. It's your bloody human right to say nothing to these thieves. Why should it matter? I think they're maybe slightly worried about that because it's a more liberal agenda, maybe people think about it, but who am I to say? What else have we got? Oh my god, these issues are just random, So, okay, what about preemptive searches and laws, acts, statutes, legislation and policy? Well, this is what's going back to pay the bond. You get stopped for speeding, get a fine, goes to the government goes, alright, well, here's a bit of money back we've got to profiteer off our people to pay you guys back, because we don't have the money from anywhere, so let's fine them for speeding, we'll pay you back your bonds that we said we'd pay back by fining the population. I feel that way for, not just speeding, but pretty much any other law, stop and search. You don't have my consent to stop and search me because you think I've done something wrong. Acts, statutes, legislation and policy only have the consent of the only have the force of law given the consent of the governed. That's the definition. So what's law? Well, law is theft, harm and fraud. Fraud is the illusion of debt. Jesus Christ, jail these crooks now. You know what, I'm going to sign off at that. I've got so much more to say on acts, statutes, legislation and policy. I'll be here all day. Cheers, guys. Think about this kind of stuff. We don't want to have privatised banks, at least. You can debate the NHS as much as you like, but the banks, fuck man, that should be government owned. Peace.